What's up, guys? It's Jeff over at Vintage. I'm like most of you. The last several days, I've been trying to read through as much information as I can, get a better understanding of the regs that have just been dropped on our industry, and just trying to come to grips now that we know what our fight is going to be and who it's going to be against, and the obstacles that we're going to have to overcome. It's tough. We've been fielding a lot of questions in here, Glenn especially. Customers coming in, they've seen the news. It's made national headlines. And now, what are we going to do about it? You know, and being in the industry, we have to come up with a plan to keep these devices and everything that we have available to us, keep it there for the future and for people that have not yet made the switch. I think the most disheartening thing of it all is just seeing how public health, the health of you and I and our family members, the benefits that we all know come from these products mean absolutely nothing to our government, our elected officials, people that claim to have our health as their utmost priority are choosing to restrict and limit an industry solely 100% based on money. I think we all know deep down that's the underlying cause of all of this. Vaping's been around essentially for close to 10 years here in America. It's never really been an issue until it rose to the level that it currently is at. Once the numbers started to build and it drew the attention of big tobacco, big pharma, all these groups that have never really had any outside competition before are now being threatened by something that I don't believe they ever saw coming. Tobacco has probably been, from a business standpoint, one of the best products in the world. It attracts and addicts essentially everybody that ever tries it. We know the risks. We know the dangers of smoking. That's been made evident. Maybe not early on, way back in the day, nobody knew, but now we know. We all have been touched by or affected by the dangers of smoking and tobacco usage. I know myself included. I smoked for almost 20 years. A family of heart disease. Heart disease runs in my family. All the dangers associated with it. I still made a decision and got addicted to tobacco and was willing to take that risk. We joke about it in here, but I'd come to terms to the fact that I'm probably going to die with a cigarette in my hand. And not until I was introduced to my first e-cig did I ever really think there would be an option out there that would give me the ability to lay down the cigarettes. I didn't even want to. I knew how bad they were. I enjoyed smoking. I hear in here in the shop all the time that you have to want to quit to switch over to this. Well, my story is much different. I had no intent on quitting. I had a job at the time that would not allow smoking on campus, and my thought process was I'm gonna get my e-cig and do it at work, and then when I go home I'm going to have my cigarette like normal. And within about a week I laid my cigarettes down, and that's been over 3 years. Almost all of that 3 years I've been working here at Vintage in the industry. I've witnessed firsthand, like many of you have. Most vapors are as passionate about the industry as us that work in it, but you've seen people light up. You've seen the joy that comes from, oh my gosh, I've got a product in my hand that's going to allow me to break a habit that was killing me, absolutely killing me. This industry is a grassroots industry. It wasn't created by big pharmaceutical, it was created by smokers as an alternative to get off of a product that we know is going to kill us. And for anybody, media-wise, any outside groups that try to say that these are not an effective tool to do so, you got to be kidding me. I mean, if you truly believe that, then you're definitely turning a blind eye to facts and just going based off of, just made up fairyland type things. Because I'm not going to sit here and say these are 100% effective. Everybody that vapes is going to lay down the cigarette. No, I mean, nothing's 100%. But it's a whole lot more effective than the products currently on the market, approved by our government, FDA. I'm not even going to get into all the Chantix, the Nicorettes, the patches. I mean, I think the biggest negative that we hear on this industry is, well, it still has nicotine. So does gum. So does the patch. If nicotine is the culprit, the criminal behind all of this, then how can you justify those products as okay and this product not okay? We all share one common factor. There is nicotine. One thing that I found appealing and that drew to me with vaping was I was able to step down my nicotine content in my liquid, but still vape, still get that hand-to-mouth action that you can't recreate with a patch or with gum. I mean, there's no, there's no meets, there's no organizations of groups of people that sit around and show each other their patch they've got on their arm. I mean, it's a nice thought, and if it had been effective, it wouldn't be viewed as it is from smokers now. I mean, we all know how ineffective those products are. And one big fact that I think a lot of people that have never been a smoker don't understand is we enjoy it. I mean, it becomes part of our life that we enjoy. I enjoyed, buying that pack of cigarettes and packing it down and opening it up and taking that first light. I mean, it becomes part of who we are. We enjoy it as much as eating or reading a book or whatever people's activities are. Smoking becomes that for us. It's and that's why when trying to quit with the products on the market before e-cigs, they never could replicate the feeling of, sitting around with your friends, enjoying a vape, enjoying a smoke. You can't recreate that. This is the only product that has the ability to recreate that and be as effective as it is. My question to the FDA is, what are you trying to protect me from? And who are you really trying to protect? Me or you? Whose best interests are in mind? I understand if there were side effects, if we were reading in the news of people coming down with strange lung diseases and odd things that may be attributed to this, then yeah, I think maybe at that point it should be looked at and see if there's a way to avoid that. But I've been vaping for 3 years. Glenn here has been vaping for 6. People have been vaping for 10 years, and you're not seeing these reports. I tell customers all the time, if there was documented proof, there's people dedicating their lives right now trying to find the negatives of this industry, and if it was there, we would all know about it. If I'm wrong, if you know something I don't, that's what I'm asking. Tell me. I mean, are we talking about perceived risk? Are we talking about facts? Show me facts. If I'm presented with facts, I can't argue that. And that's why I don't understand how the government has been presented with actual facts of benefits of vaping versus smoking, but yet they turn a blind eye to that. Facts mean nothing. And they're willing to snuff out an industry not because of the dangers involved, not because of any science or proof that this is going to be an epidemic or a problem. If that was the case, I think all of our feelings would be a little bit different. It would be hard to get mad at our government for really, truly giving us the facts and protecting us against a dangerous product. Vaping is not a dangerous product. It's not. An old story several years back when this was all brand new to me and to the area. We were at a restaurant and I ran into one of the doctors I used to work with in the hospital. Showed him my vaporizer and I said, "What's your opinion on this?" And he said, "Honestly, Jeff, I would rather you eat carrot sticks." Fair enough. I get that. But then he added, "I just don't know enough yet to give you my opinion." That's all we can ask for. And I went on to tell him, you may want to start doing some research because you're going to start seeing patients come to you that you treat and oversee that are going to be on these products. You need to know what you're dealing with here. You need to know the facts, not the myths or what the government and media is actually portraying us in this to be. Know the facts. The longer we've gone and the more research that has been documented, we're finding out every day that the risks just aren't there. I mean, everything that might happen, popcorn lung, well, show me somebody that's contracted popcorn lung from vaping. I know the numbers, I know the charts, we show them in here daily. I just don't understand why the rush. Well, I do know. I mean, I do understand. I do get it. It's money, plain and simple. If vaping had been invented by big pharmaceutical companies, if the creators of Nicorette had come out with this type of system, I mean, it would have been held probably one of the biggest modern inventions of our lifetime. But yet it was created by the industry, by the smoker, by the user, and so it's never going to get the acknowledgement that it should. But I think it's one of those things that the longer we go and the more science we can get behind us, the more we can prove. I tell people all the time, the best thing we can do as vapors is keep living, keep not getting cancer, keep not getting sick. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand that there's so many factors in life. We're all going to die. But side-by-side comparisons, vaping versus smoking, show me. It's just not there. I was interacting with one of my friends last night on Vapors TV on the show he was hosting, and as I was reading through there, I was just flipping through some documents regarding the FDA and how they were created and what their actual purpose is. And one of the things that got me was one of the main purposes and goals of the FDA is to look at a product and judge whether or not that product should be deemed safe based on risks versus benefits. If the risks outweigh the benefits, this product may need to be looked at being pulled from the market or pulled from being approved to be on the market. Tell me, please, what are the risks that outweigh the benefits of vaping? I mean, I'm open. I've got open ears. I really want to know this. This is because I've racked my brain trying to think and taking myself out of this industry, taking myself out of it, looking at it from a different perspective. What risks constitute killing the whole industry other than the risks of reaching into the pockets of big tobacco? It's not it's not our risks. It's unfathomable. I can't even. It frustrates me to no end to even try to put it into words. We know smoking kills, and don't get me wrong. I don't want the government to ban or restrict smoking. I don't want the government to ban or restrict alcohol. I mean, I think that we as adults, law-abiding citizens, have the right, until we've proven we can't accept the responsibility, we have the right to choose for ourselves. Since when do I need the government's approval to do anything? I mean, just because the government thinks it's not safe for me, well, if I choose to do it, It's my choice. I have to live with the consequences. I've read articles where people say that e-cigs may end up ultimately saving more lives than seatbelts. Seatbelts are not 100% safe. There's people that have died in accidents because of their seatbelts. So, but does the risk outweigh the benefit? No. I mean, we all know that wearing a seatbelt is beneficial to your survival rate in an accident. So you can look at anything and sway different things and make charts and graphs and studies that show anything that you want to show. But I think at the end of the day, the biggest question is, how should vaping fall under the same umbrella as smoking when it's not? It's just not. I mean, I know one of the big things talked about in a lot of the chat groups and forums is zero nicotine. And I mean, I vape zero nicotine. There's not a tobacco product in this. There's not. But from what I can tell, the wording in these new regulations basically say because nicotine could be put into the e-liquid, it's classified as a tobacco product. Anybody making anything within the industry, whether it's e-liquids, devices, pre-made coils, anything, then they're basically telling us now we're manufacturers of tobacco. Think about that. We're manufacturers of tobacco because there's nicotine? We don't know what's going to happen at the end of the day. We're still here. We're going to be here as long as we're allowed to be here. I put it last night. I was talking to someone and I said, I won one fight against big tobacco when I laid down those cigarettes. And this is another fight that we're going to have to do. I think at the end of the day, probably right now, my best understanding of what's going on is all this is about to get much more expensive. Vaping as we know it, pricing as we know it, the way things should be, I think is all going to change. Is it fair? No. What is? What is fair? Nothing. Nothing in life is. But all we can do is just keep spreading the word, trying to undo the damage that media outlets have done to this industry. Be respectful. I see a lot of groups, and I get it. I mean, I do. I understand the hatred towards things and the anger that's derived from seeing these regulations just thrown into our face. But you got to be really careful in what you say and what you do, because trust me, it's all being looked at. I think some of the groups I've seen with the whole F the FDA, I get it. I mean, I totally understand it. I think I like it. I won't associate with that, just because if we ever, any of us, are called onto a stand or have to appear before anybody with legislative authority, we need to present ourselves as educated, as calm, as cool. We need to maintain that professionalism when those times come. We all enjoy different aspects of this industry. It's all fun. It's all part of who we are and what we are. But at the same time, just remember you're being watched. You're being looked at. Somebody in this world, when they think of vaping, your face, you, is who they think of, because you are the vapor that they interact with on a daily basis. So just keep that in mind. Just like I said, try to keep this in the best image as we can. Try to carry yourself that way. We do have a fight ahead of us. Let's don't make it any harder than it already is. But I think at the end of the day, it means too much to too many of us for them to completely take it away. I mean, that's really my belief. There's a lot of smart people in this industry. Just even locally here that I know and within this state, we are so fortunate to have groups that dedicate their lives and their time to us, to keeping us up to date with what's going on and keeping total destruction from happening to the best that they can. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work and God forbid some way this industry is completely squashed out, don't ever look back and think, what could I have done? Because at that point it's too late. I mean, we all gotta, you gotta start swinging, man. We've all got to start swinging and doing our part. I think the estimations are 9 to 12 million vapors in the United States alone. I mean, if we could get 10% of us to get together to actually unify and work together, it takes numbers, guys. It just does. And I don't know. I mean, this rant's going on and on, but at the end of the day, the biggest question is, are you willing to fight for it? Think back to how passionate you are about this, and how passionate you are about spreading the message of vaping, and vape on.